on shore!
The London rocks! Get her over! Over! She won't answer, Mr. Onedin. She's too heavy in the water.
Soon put that to right. Don't you fear.
We've got to jettison cargo. What? As master of this vessel, I say it again, we've got to jettison cargo.
I tell you, we do no such thing.
Throw away money, and we're as good as in port.
Won't take the responsibility further, sir. Not when she won't answer.
You've got your orders, Captain Baines. We'll run for all.
Now then, eat this. Come on, it's not much, but it's something.
Can I have some, Mum?
Not till your sister's eaten. Oh, build up the fire. You must eat, Mary. How can you hope ever to get well if you don't eat?
The singing, Mum. The singing stopped.
Alice! What a way to greet your own flesh and blood.
Uncle Will! Uncle Will, have you brought food for us, Uncle Will?
All that I have, lad. Here, let me get properly in the door.
Thank God you've come, William. Thank God.
Well, I as near as didn't, Alice. We had a close call this trip. The girl.
She's got to be got out of here, William. Worse than ever she is in this place. She'll die.
Got out where?
To the country,
The country.
where the air is clean. See, I've thought about it. If we could find a little place, it doesn't matter how far away. I mean, Edward's a big boy now. He could help with the land, and we could grow enough to keep ourselves.
A place in the country? Woman, you gotta have money to come by things like that.
How much money?
How should I know? £100? Alice, I'm just this minute ashore. And as I told you, it's a mercy I'm here at all.
Couldn't you find Mr. Onedin raise £100?
Mr. Onedin.
Isn't it his fault more than anybody's that we're reduced to a life like this? He brought fever into the port.
Now, Alice.
He brought fever into the port. That meant the drains had to be blown up. So there was the end of our hearth and home. No redress.
Mr. Onedin wasn't to blame.
You stand up for him because you believe your livelihood depends upon it. But that's a mistake too, William. If the day ever dawned when your generous master had no further use for you, you'd not remain his bondman for very long, and well, you know it.
Mum!
Where is she? Will she earn a shilling? I'm paying no more.
Why, they come demanding in places like this.
Hey, you then! I'm paying, aren't I? Shilling! Plenty for the likes of her!
Alice, you ought to be got out of here. God knows how. But I'll find the money one way or another.
Leave me be, Baines. There's naught I can do to help you. I'm in trouble. If the repair to the ship is really going to take 6 weeks, I'll have to make some other arrangements. But Braganza's casks must be in Portugal on time.
What about me, sir? What about the crew?
Well, you've your lives, haven't you? It's the way of the sea. You lose one berth, you find yourself another.
Well, you know well enough there's scarce a berth to be had in Liverpool at the present time. And you as good as promised us all this trip before we set sail on the last one.
6 weeks to mend a damned hole.
Well, I was master out there in the storm, and I said jettison the cargo. You told me to the contrary. So when it comes to responsibility for the damage...
Are you trying to tell
James,
me...
don't provoke Mr. Baines.
Provoke him?
You know his reasons for needing employment just now.
And for demanding £100 off me?
Mr. Onedin not demanding, requesting by way of an advance.
I've never heard of an advance to that order being made Admiral of the Fleet, let alone a merchant master.
For the Lord's sake, I must find the money to get my sister and her family out of that doss house.
And I must repair the ship. Without her, we're all done for. Shall I scupper myself to salvage you?
James, Mr. Baines' sister's living in dire circumstances. I've been there and seen for myself.
Look, we've got troubles of our own. I should like to borrow money to get us out of troubles, but the world is not like that. Each man must shoulder his own burden.
Well, that was wanton, sir. What you did out in the storm there, running for home unless the farthing's profit be lost. Now men whose families depend on it are without their livelihood. I call that evil action, sir, I do, wanton.
I've never heard you speak like that before, Mr. Baines.
Well, I'm sorry, ma'am. But it's his doing. I see it all plain now. All that's befallen me and mine is his doing.
Carrie? Carrie Harris?
Yes, what is it?
Oh, there you are. Someone to see you, Carrie.
What, here? A gentleman? Bert, wait a minute. Oh, give over, you lot, will you? Mind out of the way, I want to get this on. Thanks very much. Was it you wanted to see me, then?
Carrie Harris,
Yes, that's right.
the young lady that knew Mr. Albert Fraser I asked for.
Oh? And what might you be to do with Mr. Albert Fraser?
Is there somewhere we could talk?
Shut up, you lot.
I know Mr. Fraser quite well. We're old friends, really. And I heard there was someone here who was a friend of his, too. And I thought I'd like to make her acquaintance.
Hurry it up, girls, hurry it up. Juggler's on and you're on next.
Miss Harris, I'm going to be completely frank with you.
Yes, love. Perhaps that'd be best.
I'm more than a friend of Mr. Fraser's. Much more. Or at least I thought I was. But I've just found out that he's a married man.
Dear. So we've been a silly girl, have we?
You knew he was married.
You don't like being seen in a place like this, do you, Duck? It's not your style at all.
Miss Harris, if Mr. Fraser is married, and if he's also been seeing someone like you, well, surely it's obvious.
Do you want a drink?
No, thank you.
Oh, look. There's one born every minute, isn't there? Us women need to benefit from each other's experience. Always make sure they pay up, eh?
Pay up?
But what else? Girl's the one with most to lose. Anyway, a gentleman ought to pay for his pleasures. It's only right.
Are you trying to tell me that Mr. Fraser actually gave you money for...
Oh, didn't he you?
No. No, of course not.
Then you've learned something, haven't you? You know better next time. Look, £10 all I had. And even to get that I had to pretend.
No ships at all available for charter.
That is the sad fact, I'm afraid, James. I mean, look at these lists for yourself. Oh, there are clippers enough in port. If you have a couple of £100 available to pay in advance. We gave the tea brokers 3 months' grace.
You gave them.
But as for smaller vessels...
Now, look what the devil am I to do? I must deliver those casks by Friday week, otherwise I'm in breach of agreement with Braganza. And have that parked cargo of cloth ready for loading.
Couldn't you purchase whole space on some other master's ship?
Look, if every ship's chartered, every ship's loaded to the gunnels. No, I must see Braganza myself.
Hey, wait on. There is a ship. The Peacock she's called. And she's going out half laden, it seems. Bound for West Africa, too. Now, an obliging skipper might call in at Lisbon on his way, if you made it worth his while.
The Peacock. Not heard of her, huh?
Easy now. Straight down. Easy. Take the strain. Easy, I said! Get this cleared up.
Morning. My name's Onedin. I'd like to see the captain, please.
You'll find him in his cabin.
Oh, by the way, what cargo is she carrying?
Blankets, glassware and Bibles.
For West Africa, eh?
Where else?
Pibroch. She's new to me.
New to most of us aboard. She's worked out of Port of London this last 3 years, for that Clyde side.
Do with a lick of paint.
We'll need a man to show you to the master's quarters.
Good day to you, Captain. My name's James.
Why, Mr. Onedin, welcome aboard the Pibroch, sir. My new command. One I was lucky to be offered, no doubt.
No, Elizabeth, surely you're mistaken. Her name is Carrie Harris, a cheap little entertainer, Anne, a music hall girl. And Albert is paying her for her favors.
I don't understand. Elizabeth, men don't go to women like that unless...
Unless what?
Is there no hope for it?
I believe you offered me some tea.
How did you learn about this Carrie Harris?
Well, by complete chance, I ran into Daniel Fogarty. Something he said made me suspicious.
I see. Daniel Fogarty.
As I said, the meeting was a chance one. He did call at the house one day to see young William. Well, I suppose that's his right from time to time. After all, he is William's father.
Albert's had a lot to forgive you for, one way and another, Elizabeth. Perhaps you should think of that now. What do you mean to do?
I shall leave Albert, of course.
What?
I'm not going to be made a laughingstock just so that he can enjoy his tawdry pleasures. A common actress known to one and all to have taken my place in his affections.
It is not known to one and all.
It shall be made known.
You can't leave Albert. Where will you go?
I'll find somewhere.
Oh, it sounds easy enough.
You left James.
And I suffered, Elizabeth, as well you know.
I can hardly stay under the same roof with Albert after this.
But you must. There's nowhere else.
Thank you for the tea, Anne.
Listen, William isn't Albert's child.
I'm aware of that.
In law, you have no claim on your husband, not the least. If you walk out on the streets, you'll be left there to starve. Elizabeth!
Let go of my arm.
Listen to me.
Let go!
I'm speaking the truth. A woman has no redress in this world. A woman alone has no chance.
I shall not be alone for long. I'm not like you, Anne. I don't have your pride. I'll find someone to take care of young William.
Let go forward! Let go aft! Let go forward! Let go! All well, Mr. Onedin. I heard you gone below, so I thought I'd follow to see if there was something not to your satisfaction.
Just checking to see that me cargo was lashed properly. You've no objections, Captain Baines, eh?
None in the world. It's yours and probably paid for.
Yes. Poorly, though.
Eh?
Well, I offered you a share of the profit of my cargo of cloth, but you'd none of it. You'd rather a flat sum. It was a sincere effort to help you, you know. You might find that you've been the loser once we get to Lisbon.
Well, that's as maybe.
It doesn't worry you.
Oh, I can see to myself, Mr. Onedin. Don't you lose no sleep about that. Anyway, I am obeying my owner's orders.
Owner's orders, eh?
Aye, as fast a run out as Serie will allow, and no obligations taken above those already contracted for.
Blankets, beads, Bibles. Strange cargo for a fast run.
Right up, go, Captain!
Aye, Mr. Carlo.
Owner's orders, eh?
If there are any difficulties with the stowage, Mr. Onedin, take them up with my mate, Mr. Carlo.
I wonder they let you accept my cargo as paid freight, seeing they were so anxious to set sail half-loaded. What'd you have to do? Get down on your hands and knees and plead with them?
You were in trouble, sir. And it's not my way to leave a fellow seafarer high and dry. Not when I can assist him.
These, Bibles and beads.
What about him?
Well, hard to see where the profit lies in a cargo like that.
The West African traders need them to barter with the natives.
No, I know, but the profit must be twopence halfpenny.
Oh, that's as maybe. There's a big consignment of hides and palm oil to come back, and there's a sight more profit than twopence halfpenny. And I have to report to the agents in Freetown.
P-Bro. Interesting how you pick up a command. Just like that. So conveniently. Don't you think?
You'll just never come to the end of your curiosity, will we now?
She rides a deal lower than you think.
A respectable draft.
She's shipping a lot of water.
I've known other ship more or less be said about it.
Wonder what happened to our last master now.
Eh?
Well, seemed to have taken up your command, voyage and cargo all arranged, and crew aboard. Why was there no master?
How the hell should I know about things like that?
You mean it doesn't matter to you?
I was offered a paying proposition, and I took it up because I couldn't afford not to.
You're very fond of your sister Alice, aren't you, Mr. Baines? And you want to see her living in a decent home again.
What are you trying to say?
Maybe he died, eh? Or retired from the sea, eh?
Who?
The Pembroke's last master.
Have you done, sir?
Plenty of master mariners in Liverpool, some with wider experience than you, yet they chose you. Why was that, Captain Baines, eh?
Now, Mr. Onedin, if you're anxious that it'll come to a fight between us.
No. I never did harm to you or yours, Baines. Not deliberately, eh?
Well, it may be, sir. It may be, but you've done precious little to aid us either. And so, if I can be of no further service to you...
What's the matter with your man down there? Hasn't he got a bunk below?
Bertley? Oh, give him a feather bed below, he still wouldn't use it.
Why not?
Because he always dusses above, that's why. Less chance of the rats of the wild waves getting him, he says. Look, don't fret yourself about him, sir. He's daft. Daft as rabbits.
Bartley, are you awake? Listen to me, Bartley. There's some things I want to know, and maybe you can tell them me. Now, it's worth a florin if you can answer my questions. I hear you shipped aboard the Pembroke the last 5 voyages. Right? She's a queer ship. Something amiss with her. Who was her last master, eh? What was his name?
Are you the one, then? The one?
What one? What are you talking about?
Eh? Him. The seafarer's friend. They do say there's such a one. All lies, isn't it? Sailor lads can go to bottom at sea and be damned to them. Sailor lads that perish and know what to say.
Bartley of Florida. Now, come on, tell me.
Old Will Rigger. Now, he reckoned things would be different someday. There he is, drowned. It was Al Gibbons. Me, even. Aye. Maybe there's the way of it. Maybe I'm drowned too, and rest is just mad dreams. The rats have survived. They don't stay below when it's too late. No fear of that. Sailor lads should take a leaf out of their book. Sailor lads shouldn't stay below on ships like the Mary Blanche.
Mary Blanche?
There's no seafarer's friend, I tell you. None in the wide world.
Yeah, what about the Mary Blanche? Some ship you was on? That went down? Hmm?
I seen them rats come out of them bales. Everyone thought they was cotton. But the rats knew. Timbers went. Sea was on us all before. Side.
Well, that should do it. Now then, deliver this at once to the editor of the Courier for inclusion in the next edition. We'll squash any rumors about Mr. Fraser's sail the steamship. Oh, and tell the editor I shall look forward to the pleasure of having lunch with him one day next week. Look sharp, lad. Mrs. Onedin.
Mr. Fogarty, I hope I'm not disturbing you at a busy time.
Well, the fact is I have
I'm
a great
sure
deal
you
of-
know I wouldn't dream of calling unannounced unless my business were of the first importance. May I sit down?
Yes.
I'd better say at once that I've come to ask your help.
My help?
Not for myself. For someone for whom in the past I know you've entertained affection. Mr. Fogarty, Why did you tell Elizabeth that her husband was associating with a music hall singer?
Mrs. Onedin.
Do you deny that you told her?
Well, I deny that I knew. I saw Mr. Fraser at Fox's music rooms and observed his interest in a certain party. But I in no way concluded or wished to give the impression that Mrs. Onedin that...
Well, Elizabeth has found out that it's so. And as a result, she means to leave her husband.
Leave him?
Yes.
Well, I fail to see what all this has to do with me. That marriage has been in the doldrums for a long time, from what I gather. I could whistle for a wind if it would help, but apart from
Elizabeth mustn't be allowed to leave her husband, Mr. Fogarty. A woman alone in England today is a woman damned.
My dear Mrs. Onedin, how am I to prevent it?
By speaking to Elizabeth.
I speak to her.
She won't listen to me anymore, nor to anyone else in her family. There must be someone in the wide world whose judgment she still respects.
And you think she will accept my advice? She was expecting my child. I asked her to marry me. She refused.
Are you saying you don't care what happens to it?
That's an unfair question. Well, this is all very difficult. As you know, I'm engaged to Miss Emma Callan and...
Well, if you don't want that marriage to run into squalls on its first day out, shouldn't you see to it that Elizabeth set fair on her course? Please, Mr. Fogarty, in spite of the fact she once spurned you, Elizabeth deserves something of you. Hello, Robert.
Oh, Anne, we were waiting on your return. There's someone here I think you must meet. Captain Lubbock.
Mrs. Onedin.
I happened on Captain Lubbock this morning at the insurance office. I was filing applications. Until 3 weeks ago, Captain Lubbock was master of the Pembroke.
Right you are.
What the devil do you think you're doing?
Oh, no, sir, that's my question for you. We've noted your interest in the Pembroke and everything about it. Now we'd like to be told what you're seeking.
She rides too low. Any fool can see that. Shipping more water every day.
Oh, we're bound to get sweating this weather.
It's more than sweating.
Will you come nice and quiet now, Mr. Onedin? It'd grieve me something wicked to have to put a fellow master under restraint. Especially one, as you could say, taught me the ways of command. What business is it of yours?
What's in those bales?
I've told you, blankets, beads, and Bibles.
Blankets that weigh a ship down. Beads and Bibles that smash in a hatch cover.
Well, I've known plenty of accidents like that in my time.
And a sharp crew you signed on here.
Oh, well, they may not be the best sailors in Liverpool, but...
A lunatic for one.
Oh, Bartley, I mean, well, he works well enough.
He knows what's in those bales.
I don't care what's in them bales. Will you say guns, maybe, or opium? I've known some mighty respectable skippers run things like that and get no bad conscience from it.
Talking about conscience anyway, I know yours well enough. You'd never do anything discreditable just for money now, would you?
What's that?
Money. More than is usual.
If I'm in need of money, Mr. Onedin, you know well enough it's not for myself.
It's a bad arrangement. I've heard of it before. Bigger fee than is usual. Then you agree to forfeit a large part of it if your cargo doesn't get in on time. Compels the skipper to run through all sorts of weather. Run risks. You're afraid that if you was to go down there and open up one of those bales, you'd find something to prove that the odds was already stacked against you.
Fetch Bartley. I want a word with him.
Aye, Captain.
Now, sir. You've got something on your mind, say it now.
The Pembroke a coffin ship?
Yes, Anne, a coffin ship. That's our fear.
Mind, it's only my opinion, Mrs. Onedin. I make no direct accusations.
I don't understand what you mean, a coffin ship.
I resigned my command of the Pembroke because I considered she was too old and too rotten to put out into deep water anymore. But there she is, halfway to Africa again.
Aye, and on a fast run, too.
Are you suggesting that she isn't safe?
I'm afraid he's suggesting more than that, Anne. He is suggesting that...
Suggesting what? Tell me, please.
A coffin ship, Mrs. Onedin, is one whose days of reliable service are long over. But she's heavily insured. So her owners overload her and order her to deep water trades for the insurance.
Well, what is it?
How the blazes should I know?
Copper dross from the smelting works. Heavy. Found on deck, near the hatch cover, just after that accident with the loading.
Well, it could have come from anywhere.
It come from one of those bales down there. Oh, come on, man, she's shipping water like a sieve, and you know it.
I'm a master mariner, and I'll get her back no matter what she's carrying. They'll have their cargo, Bibles, copper dross, whatever it may be, and I'll have my money to get my sister that place in the country where she can support herself.
Ah, the owners chose the right man for master here. Thinking just like your owners want you to think. But your sister and family, they don't matter here. Ship and crew matter here. Your conduct's likely to prove wanton, Captain. Wanton!
Bartley, Captain.
Soaked as a flounder, you crazy old loon. Can't you even sleep below on a night like this?
Least of all on a night like this, Captain.
Aye. Because it's on a night like this that coffin ships go down. Am I not right, Bartley? Night like this that the Mary Blanche went down, eh? Oh, come on, man. I've just remembered 7 years ago, the Atlantic run. Mary Blanche went down, and the owners claimed from complete loss from the insurers. Only you survived, somehow.
It was the rats. Them rats in bales. I seen them come out from where they'd been nesting, just before she broke asunder. And inside them bales... Go on. Iron bars. Where there should have been cotton. Iron bars to sink us all.
The seafarer's friend, Samuel Plimsoll. He wants a line to be put around all ships to mark a level above which they shouldn't be loaded.
To save lives at sea and prevent greedy masters from suicidal profiteering.
But what are we to do now? He'll drown.
No, Anne.
He'll drown, Robert. James will drown.
Steady,
If
lass.
you please, Mrs. Onedin, I may be completely wrong about the Pembroke.
You don't believe so, do you, Captain?
But why would the owners let James take whole space if all along they knew they only wanted to sink her?
There was space available. It might have created suspicion to refuse.
And my husband's as good as dead already, isn't he? And there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing. Daniel, the maid didn't say.
I neglected to give a name. I thought if perhaps Albert were at home...
Albert doesn't spend a great deal of time at home these days. He's busy working on his steamship, and when he's not, he seems to prefer Fox's music rooms.
I know, and it was that I came to talk to you about.
Indeed.
Well, it seems something I said the other day when we met in the library may have caused you to make further inquiries.
Who told you that?
It was not my intention. I honestly didn't...
Was it Anne?
Elizabeth, listen.
Answer me, please.
Well, she's concerned for you, and rightly so. You can't leave Albert. Even if there's some chit of a girl at Fox's, it's nothing for you to get on your high horse about.
Shouldn't I be the judge of that?
Oh, these music hall girls, this kind of thing happens all the time.
Oh, yes. A wife should be tolerant and understanding of her husband's little weakness. I know. Men are all alike, you included, I suppose.
We're not talking about me.
Aren't we? Nevertheless, I should like to know.
Well, you already know, damn you. Wouldn't bother my head with some little doxy.
Then why should I forgive a fault in Albert that I wouldn't have to put up with in you?
Because he's your husband and I'm...
And that's all that matters to you, isn't it? I'm married and therefore someone else is concerned. Nothing to do with the correct and ambitious Daniel Fogarty. Just the mother of his child, not to be seriously considered.
Now, why do you think I'm here if I'm not concerned for you?
Don't forget your hat, Daniel. You've nothing to come back to this house for.
Maybe I have, by God. Maybe I have. One day, my girl, one day, I'll do just what your husband is too weak to do.
What's that?
Give you a damn good thrashing.
Finished here, we can make a run for it.
The wind. We'll never make it.
There's a lighthouse there to guide us.
Lighthouse to show us where the hazards lie.
If men do, I'm with them.
Then you must send again. The Pembroke. News of the Pembroke. Some ship returning home may have signalled Lloyd's at the Lizard about her. Or else the Paris Telegraph.
And why don't you go away home, eh? Captain Lubbock and I can see to all that's got to be done here.
Yes, Captain Lubbock's being very kind.
And then if she's off the coast of Spain, as we suspect, when she's sighted, we'll get a report. And if not, then...
Then we may never hear, may we? You don't have to tell me, Robert. I was a seafarer's daughter before I was a seafarer's wife. The long wait. Weeks, months even, before that bit of wreckage is sighted somewhere that says plain that the ship and her crew are no more. The long wait. It seemed like an eternity already.
And love.
Coming in close now! If you'll stay in one piece long enough, Captain, I mean to rudder ashore sweet as a longboat. Men don't drown so easy with rocks and cling to, Captain.
He's safe, Anne. What do you think of that? Captain Baines ran her into the shallows before the timbers gave way. All the men got ashore. There. James is safe.
Oh. Yes, you shouldn't have worried. Ship hasn't been launched yet. That can sink me.
Coffin, James.
I knew it was bad. Worse for Baines, though.
Mr. Baines?
Aye, and his kin. There's irony for you now. You were so anxious to help them, and you've done for them. Sorry to say. Here, any food in the house?
Done for them?
Aye. All those cables you sent come to the attention of the insurers. Such things do, you know. Now there's to be a full-scale inquiry into the sinking of the Pembroke, with Baines as master held responsible for the deliberate wrecking of his vessel.
But Mr. Baines couldn't have known she was a coffin ship.
He didn't want to know. He was just thinking of the money for his sister.
You're not saying Mr. Baines is guilty?
The inquiry will answer that. We've troubles enough of our own, eh?
Is there nothing we can do to help, Mr. Baines?
Try and help people and you only harm them. Each man must take up his own burden. God help those that haven't the strength, eh?
Be upstanding.
Captain Baines, this board of nautical assessors has made a decision in your case. But before I say what it is, there are one or two things I have to say myself. The behavior of a master mariner who not only fails to inspect his cargo before sailing, but when warned that it may not be what is shown on the manifest, ignores that warning and proceeds to run a vessel as unseaworthy as the Pembroke into high seas and dangerous waters, that man has no right to be in command with the fate of ship and crew in his hands. We are indebted to the forthright testimony of Captain James Onedin in this matter, for had he not spoken so truthfully, we would not have had a full account of the last voyage of the sailing vessel Pembroke. Now, Captain Baines, Captain Onedin has pleaded, quite rightly, that you were under stress from some personal family problem at this time and only accepted the command of this ship in haste and with little thought for the consequences. However, that can act as no excuse. If this board of assessors felt that you had been a party to some predetermined plan to sink the Pembroke with possible loss of life and limb, then we would indeed deal with you harshly, sir, but this board does not regard you as a clever rogue, which to do such a thing you would have needed to be. You're a man who came to this position from a lowly station. Well, it may be that such promotion is not a profit to all concerned. I cannot say anything about that. All I know is that you behaved in the most unseamanlike manner, verging on the criminal, and that this court has, in my view, dealt with you very leniently. Captain William Baines, you will not sail as master on any British ship for a period of 6 calendar months.
And it may be that owners may think twice of using your services after that.
Sir, I must protest. Is it proper of you to say that? To warn owners against me? I think the assessor's decision is hard.
Do you?
Yes, I do, sir. But I have to abide by that. But I can't stand idle while you tell owners not to employ me when my period of 6 months is done.
Captain Baines, you presume to instruct me in my duty as chief assessor in this case? Well, mister, do you?
I apologize.
What, man?
I said I apologize.
Really, the manners of some people. You will not sail as master for 6 months, sir. You may, of course, obtain work as ship's mate, a post I understand you know full well. The findings of this court will be made known. The proceedings are at an end. Mr. Baines, you may step down.
But I would... But he said...
Do not argue, man. 'Tis over. Come on, have a noggin. I'll warrant you need it.
Aye, and some work.
Captain Onedin.
I'll see you in the tavern, eh?
Well, Captain Onedin, a satisfactory verdict.
Well, as I've already said, Sir Walter, Mr. Baines is a good and steady seaman.
A good and steady mate, perhaps. You know, some men are born to command, others to obey. It's all a question of birth and family, sir.
Oh, I've no doubt that you are right, Sir Walter.
You know, Onedin, I was very impressed by the way you gave your evidence. And I must say, I've been very impressed by the way you're talked about in this port.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Why should you make inquiries about me?
Because I like to know the caliber of the man to whom I entrust my son.
Your son?
Yes, the lad is set on a career at sea. And I want him apprenticed to you.
Well, you've every merchant master in these islands to choose from.
Yes, and I choose you.
Well, I'm not one of your fancy captains, you know, with every convenience on board. I cannot but think that you'd do better to go with a larger company.
No, the lad wants the sea for himself. I do not want it for him. I'd rather see him in the Navy office or some shore establishment. That is the family tradition. But, well, I was at sea myself as a lad.
In short, you think that this one voyage might knock the idea out of his head, eh?
Well, let us say it'll be valuable experience and might make a man of him. He's done very well at his school.
Oh,
yes, rugby, yes. Oh, yes, captain of fives, poetry prize.
Poetry prize, eh?
The all-round man, you know.
Well, I must warn you, sir, that I carry no passengers. If your lad comes sailing with me as an apprentice, my fee will be 50 guineas.
I shall consider it well spent. When do you sail?
Monday week, noontide.
Ah.
For Frisco.
Frisco, eh?
Yes, of course, if you'd like to cancel our arrangement.
No, not at all, not at all. My son David shall sail with you.
Right, then.
Frisco, eh?
Oh, hey, come back here. Oh, yeah, Baines. I sailed with him once. He's a proper git. Gave me a hell of a trip, he did. Yeah. I wonder if he got off. Hey, no, Corey, yeah. Leave him. Mind your own business.
Noggin of rum.
Captain Baines. Or is it Mister?
Have a noggin, if you please.
Ah. So. It is Mr. Baines, then.
Mr. Baines! He's one of my crew. Anybody who harms him robs me of second mate. Go, Corey, leave.
Tell me when that's done. Captain?
Thank you, Baines.
Will you come out smelling of roses? I come out smelling of manure.
Sailors, look.
Did you hear what the commissioner called me?
Signifies nothing.
Well, he as good as said because I was low-born, I wasn't fit to command.
Look, let him have his prejudices. They don't harm anybody.
Well, he harmed me.
No. You harmed yourself when you took on that voyage. You've nobody to blame but yourself, you know, mate.
Well, you're Job's comforter, aren't you?
Well, what are you to do now, eh?
Get drunk.
After that?
Well, I don't know, and that's the God's truth. I've got a ship aboard as mate. It's the only course open to me. But I must maintain my sister and her 2 children. I'm down to my last shillings after this delay.
Here, put that in your pocket.
Oh, no.
Here, man. Don't want my first mate fuddle-headed, loading my cargo to go around the Horn.
The Horn?
Well, you want the job or don't you?
Aye, I do that. Captain.
Frisco begun.
I beg your pardon?
James is taking the Charlotte Roads round Cape Horn to San Francisco. Says on the noontide on Monday. It's in the lists.
How very exciting.
No, it's more than exciting, my love. It's the last testing journey left to a sailor.
Then I have no doubt that James will enjoy it.
Horn is not there to be enjoyed. It's there to be conquered.
I'm sure it's nearly as dangerous as some quarters of Liverpool after dark.
No, it's not that it's just a particularly dangerous stretch of water, my dear. It's symbolic. It represents nature at her most violent. Charlotte Roads is a small ship to make such a voyage. To round the Horn in a 150-tonner. What a proud boast that would be.
A coarse boast. Not that of a gentleman, which of course we all know you are.
How did you find out?
What?
I presume you're referring to Carrie Harris.
You dare mention that woman's name in my house?
You've been dropping hints for days.
Have you no shame?
What's the point of shame?
A low woman in a music hall. You leave her and you come home to me.
No, madam, I do not come home to you, at least not very often as well, you know.
Your conceit of yourself astounds me, sir.
I'm glad of it. Now, perhaps you'll keep your nose out of my business.
Your business?
Yes.
You wish me to ignore it?
Wise women do.
Terrified women do. Afraid of losing their homes and being thrown into the street.
I said nothing of that.
Money is short, you forever tell me, yet you pay this woman enough.
How'd you know?
She told me.
You've been to see her? You've been in her company? You in that place?
Yes. Haven't you?
That was another matter.
I think not. I repeat, you say money is short.
I gave Carrie Harris £10 because she said...
Yes?
She insisted she was with child by me. Lies, of course. If there was a child, it could be anybody's. Probably there isn't one at all. But one goes through the prescribed form in these matters.
Prescribed form? Is that what you call it? I call it something else. I call it lust and licentiousness, sir. Those are my words for it.
Then you would do well to watch your words, Elizabeth. You're in no position to throw stones at anyone, least of all me. Without me, you wouldn't have a home. And I doubt any man would do more for you and your child than I did.
Oh, it was very noble of you. And of course you had no thought for your own vanity, or what people would have thought had the truth become known.
The matter is closed.
A husband can open a conversation and close it as he chooses. And a wife must comply. It is not closed. Albert, I'm thinking of leaving you.
Leaving me?
That's right. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have things to do.
All right, you lubbers, keep everything well lashed down. We're only carrying cotton stuffs, and it's a light cargo for the Horn. We like a cork in a bathtub if it ain't lash tight. Oh, Mr. Curry.
Yes, sir.
You been round the Horn before, mister?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, no, you haven't. You haven't been round it at all till you've been round under me.
I think perhaps you'd rather I'd not come down to see you sail.
Well, I'd have you bid me goodbye with a smile, that's all.
It's not every day you go round Cape Horn.
Well, I've been around it before.
Not as captain.
Almost good as most.
Oh, better, I'll allow that. But why go round her east to west the hard way? Why not go round the Cape of Good Hope, across the Pacific and back round the Horn like most do?
because it takes too much time.
Time is money.
Look, this cargo of silver ore from Frisco. It'll help buy more shares in the steamship company.
And for that, you go round the Horn. Fog, snow, terrible winds. James, have you any notion of the fears I bear when you're away from me? And after that last voyage on the Pembroke.
Look, now's not the time, eh?
Time! You've no time for anything but your profits, James, and that's the truth of it.
It's not just the profits that matter. It's what they can buy.
That wretched steamship. You risk body and soul to build an iron monster that no one but Albert believes will ever sail.
She'll sail if she's ever built. And she won't be built unless I found the money.
Oh, forgive me, James.
Oh, look, Anne, I wish you'd go up on deck. Or if you're going to stay...
I'll stay and smile.
All those barrels in the forward hatch. Morning, Mr. Fraser.
Mr. Baines, Captain Onedin below?
Yes, sir, but we're off at high water.
So I understand. I have a bag in my carriage. Have it taken aboard, will you? There's a good fella.
Hey, you. Come on, I got a job for you.
Ah, all right.
James? Anne?
But
Do I have a cabin?
I'll ask Baines if you'll take the second mate, sir.
you said nothing of Albert sailing with you, James.
Oh, did I not? Well, Albert has a fancy to take a trip around the Horn, so I understand.
What does Elizabeth say?
She knows nothing about it yet. Oh, how melancholy. James' taste in wine has not improved. At least what he gives away has not improved. Surely there must be something better than this. I left a note for it to be delivered at 12 noon, which is, I think, in 5 minutes' time. Ah, Spanish. Still.
What about your steamship?
I thought the trip would be useful. If I'm to build an iron ship to make the voyage, I must know the conditions.
And what is the real reason?
Well, there comes a time when a man feels, if you'll pardon the indelicacy, corseted by women. He longs to free his muscles for a month or two.
Everybody aboard, Mr. Baines.
Everybody except the new apprentice, Captain. David Deel.
Good voyage, James.
Thank you, Anne.
Take care.
I will.
Come on, man, quickly. Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am.
Quite all right.
Ah, thank you, sir. Who are you?
Deel.
Deel?
Yes, indeed. David Deel, the new apprentice. Sorry I'm late. Coach horse went lame.
Deel. You any relation to Sir Walter Deel?
His son. Is there someone to take my trunk below?
Aye, lad, there is. You! Now pick it up and move.
To Cape Horn.
Albert? He's on board. I've just got his message. Well, if that's what he wants, let him go.
Come on, lads, down here. There you are. Fancy passenger gets the first mate's cabin, so I get this. A proper pigsty, this is. Well, put it down, son. That's your bunk there.
Thank you.
Your first voyage, lad?
Yes.
Now you got some surprises coming then.
Indeed.
And call me sir, or mister. I'm second mate on this ship.
Yes, sir.
You know the mate, do you?
We've just met.
You had a taste of him already, eh? Well, you'll see a lot of Mr. Baines before this voyage is over.
What are you doing skulking down here, Mr. Corey?
Just getting my gear stowed away, sir. And I think I'm hardly done by I really do, sir. I mean, this is no place for a second mate.
You sleep where you were put, mister. And you?
I beg your pardon?
I'm your taskmaster.
Yes, I gathered that.
Sir to me, who does everything I tell you at the double. Everything understand?
Yes, sir.
This is a long voyage, Mr. Deel, and I'm going to teach you to be a sailor lad. By the end of it, you'll be able to hold up your head in the port of Liverpool, or be a disgrace to your family. They're on the port watch with me, 4 hours on, 4 hours off, unless you hear all hands on deck, and that means you at any time, understand?
Yes, sir.
What's the matter?
Nothing, sir.
Then on your feet, lad.
Well, he ain't got his sea legs yet, sir.
I said on your feet. Now go on, smarten yourself up, present yourself in the captain's cabin in 10 minutes. He wants to talk to you. And make sure you're seaman-like.
Yes, sir.
Wow. He's taken a proper fancy to you, hasn't he? You sure you never seen him before?
No. Oh.
Oh, hey, here.
Bit of a swell, eh? You all right?
Yes, thank you.
Come in.
Your apprentice, sir, Mr. Deel.
Oh. Mr. Deel. Yes, I've got your bunk, lad.
Yes, sir.
Captain to the captain.
Yes, Captain.
You says aye, aye when at sea, lad.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Well, now, we all start off as apprentices. Mr. Deel seems a hard school at the time, but never did any of us any harm, eh, Mr. Baines?
No, Captain.
No. You wanted the life, your father tells me.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Are you feeling ill or something?
I'm told it will pass, Captain.
Right. Now then, well, just listen to Mr. Baines and obey him. Mr. Baines will teach you how to lay down a course, use of the sextant.
I know the theory of that, sir.
You do you? Well, you found a bit more practice than theory on this trip, lad. Right, well, just listen to Mr. Baines, obey him in all things, and, that's all, lad.
Aye, aye, Captain.
When you're quite ready, lad. Those gloves, you better put them in your pocket. You won't be needing them this voyage.
No, sir.
A list of duties of a seaman, apart from what the captain told you. Now, you're listening. Right, there's tarring, greasing, oiling, varnishing, and painting. Watching and steering, reefing, furling, and bracing. There's making and setting sail, there's pulling and hauling, and there's climbing. Can you climb?
Of course I can climb.
Right, let's see it. Right, let go of the topsails! a lot quicker than that, lad. A lot quicker.
Gloves.
Curry, that young man's idle. I want him chased. You heard? I want to make a seaman of him, and you're going to help me.
I'm not such a fool as to think this Carrie Harris is the only one. She's the one I found out about, that's all.
Did you tell Albert you were considering leaving him?
Yes, and that's why he's gone on this voyage. He's giving me a taste of life without him in the hope that I'll reconsider. He's so conceited, that man. Well, he's wrong. I'll not be there waiting for him when he returns, the chastened wife, anxious to make amends.
Are you well?
Well, of course I'm well.
There's no possibility that you might be...
A child? Not if I can help it.
You so easily reject what some of us pray for, Elizabeth. If you leave Albert, you lose house, home, everything.
What am I to do, then? Keep silent in this Carrie Harris affair? Pretend I know nothing? Let him go on seeing the woman?
Well, Albert's gone on this voyage hoping that you'll learn to accept the situation, that when he comes back...
It's easy for you to speak, Anne. James never looks at other women.
Before he sailed, I reproved him for thinking of nothing but his profits. It has its advantages, I suppose.
I'll take over, lad.
Mr. Corrie! Come on, Mr. Deel. You young gentlemen sailors, what comes to see in your gloves?
Ah, Albert.
Splendid weather.
Get rougher before we're through.
James, the new apprentice, Deel, seems to be having an unnecessarily bad time of it.
That's an apprentice's lot. Yes, he's a dog's body to the officers and a little snot-nose to the crew. We've all gone through it. It's no different for Deel.
Is it not?
Drink, eh?
Oh, I'll break a lifelong habit and choose rum.
Like a sailor of you yet, eh?
I think Baines has been too hard on the lad.
You do you?
Yes, I do. I know it's none of my business.
No, it's not.
But it is your business. You should stop it.
You think so, do you?
Yes, I do.
Baines is only doing his duty. Our lives could depend on that lad as on any man in the crew. He's got to learn that the sea's our taskmaster. You've got to learn no better than to tell a captain how to run a ship.
No, don't be so stuffy, man. I'll tell you something for your own good.
I'll tell you something for yours. You'd do better to show your wife some sympathy, not members of my crew.
I've never known you show such concern for your sister before.
Whatever Elizabeth has done, she deserves better than the treatment that you offer her by running away.
Baines is riding you hard, matey, real hard. Yeah. No spiritus liquors allowed aboard. Yeah, that's precious, that is. Best Jamaican.
I wish I was dead.
No such luck, old mate. Is that all you've had to eat since you come on board? That and the grub you brought with you? Matey, I'm gonna do something about you.
Just let me be.
Now, you listen to me, lad. I've seen young fellas in your place before just give up. With Cape Horn coming up, you won't live round it.
Perhaps that would be the best solution.
You haven't had your full 4 hours sleep any watch.
It's what happens to any apprentice.
Oh, no, it ain't. Not what you're getting. You're special.
Oh, look, please, it'll be all right. Don't bother.
Be back in a minute.
Mr. Deel! You were sloppy on that rigging, mister.
I'm sorry, sir.
Look at this place. Untidy quarters mean untidy work. It's like a pigsty in here, and I cleaned it up.
Aye, sir.
What's this?
My father.
Aye. We've met. This your mother?
Aye, sir.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have left her, boy. Because I don't think you'll ever make a sailor. But it won't be for the want of me trying. Now clean this mess up in here.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Mr. Baines. Lousebound git. Here, leave that. He won't be back for a bit. He wants his own grub.
Oh. You have mine. I don't want it.
Well, you still want to die, do you? Of course you will if you don't eat. You'll get weak and you'll get swept overboard.
I will live.
Now, look, lad. You've got nothing in your stomach, nothing at all. Now, there's a plate of salt beef and sea bread. You eat that, every scrap. They'll put a lining on your guts.
I'd never keep it down.
Of course you would. That's the best cure for the vomit.
Is it?
Force it.
No, I couldn't.
Get it down, you. Come this time tomorrow, you'll laugh in his face.
Whose?
Why, Baines, of course. Hold your nose.
You're coming into her, sir.
All right, Mr. Baines. All hands on deck. Shorten sail.
Aye, sir. All hands on deck. Take in lower topsail. Reef the main. You too, lad.
Mr. Baines, I don't want to lose the new apprentice on the first voyage out.
No, sir.
So, don't want him up aloft in this weather.
It's all training, sir. We may come to rely on it.
Just the same, Mr. Baines.
Aye, sir. On deck, Deel!
Take care, lad. Been on that wheel too long, Mr. Baines.
I'm all right, sir.
Mr. Deel, come and take over.
Aye, sir. But, sir...
Oh, go get below and get some rest, man.
Aye, aye, sir.
of the horn. If you're a helmsman.
Aye, sir. What, sir?
Never look behind you. Never!
Why's that, sir?
Because those waves are tall as the masthead. All you'll see is a wall of green water, and then the sky. You as a poor sailor, lad, jump over the side with fright with an officer. Don't smile, lad, I've seen it happen. Right, here it comes. Hold it steady.
Aye, sir.
Oh, God.
Corey, are you unwell?
No, I'm all right, lad.
I brought the food. Cold already.
No, not now, lad. You eat. I haven't been dry in 10 days.
You should eat something.
No, just sleep. That's all I want. Just sleep.
This, Albert, is where every captain trusts to his eyes. Or his look. Are those the islands? Or is it the mainland? Good God, don't you know? In this weather, no. Mr. Baines! All hands on deck! Give me some sail! Aye, aye, sir. All hands on deck! All hands on deck to go aloft! All hands aloft!
Corey! Oh, God, I can't again.
Come on!
Aye. I'm coming.
Sail away, sailor! That's the mainland!
Ropes into our port, sir!
Go between them and the land!
All hands aloft, fire and main!
You remember what Mr. Baines told you about going aloft in rough weather?
All hands, he said.
What was Deel doing up there? I told Baines not to send him up aloft. Hurry!
What can we do?
At least we can bring the lad down.
for him, lad! Thank God.
It's no use, Anne. I am determined upon leaving him. And I mean what I say.
You still care for Albert, you know. You pretend you don't, but you couldn't hide your relief when I told you that Charlotte Rhodes had arrived safely in San Francisco.
You are wrong. After the way he behaved, I haven't one jot of affection left for the man.
The news is that she'd be leaving San Francisco on the 17th.
The 17th?
So the Charlotte Rhodes should be home within a week or so. Now say you're not affected.
I am not affected. I am not affected.
I gave you a painting job to do, young T.
I'd not forgotten, sir, but I thought that overhauling the buntlines was more important.
Oh, did you? Well, there's one thing I want to say to you.
Sir?
I think you have the makings of a sailor. Mind you, I only said the making.
There's Liverpool.
Yes.
I doubt you expect Elizabeth to be waiting at the quayside. Got a dutiful wife.
Whatever you think, James, it may surprise you to know that I care for Elizabeth a great deal.
Quick, Rachel, that'll be the master. Don't keep him waiting.
Oh, no, Mum.
Come on, Rachel.
It's Mr. Fogarty, Mum.
Oh. Come in, Mr. Fogarty. Thank you, Rachel.
Your brother James' ship is in, and your husband will be home at any time. So I'll come straight to the point.
And so you presume to advise me?
If you leave your husband, it'll be my doing.
You're doing?
I told you I'd seen your husband in Foxy's music rooms, and you went to the place and spoke to Carrie Harris.
Yes, and if it weren't for you, I'd never have known.
Elizabeth,
I'm truly obliged to you,
It was
Daniel.
purely a chance remark on my part. I knew nothing about your husband's affair with her.
Oh, I believe you, Daniel. You're thinking of me and of Albert, of our happiness. But of course, if I were to leave Albert, you would feel yourself responsible for our child, wouldn't you?
Take me to Kirby Road, will you?
Mr. Baines! Mr. Baines! Oh, it's you, sir.
Mr. Baines, I've just spoken with my son. He told me how you saved his life.
Oh, it was more like giving him a hand, sir.
He says you're the finest sailor who's ever sailed.
Well, you know what young lads are. That age, their minds are fanciful.
It seems I misjudged you. I'm truly sorry.
You'll pardon me, sir.
I've told you before that was not my reason in coming here.
If I were to leave Albert, it would put you in rather an embarrassing position, wouldn't it?
I gave up all responsibility to the child when you married Albert.
Then why are you here? To preserve your good name with your lady employer?
Please leave Miss Emma Callan's name out of this discussion.
But you are engaged to her, are you not? Are you frightened she'll throw you over if the truth be known about your son?
You rate me low, madam.
Indeed I do. I rate all men low.
Rachel, is the mistress at home?
You'd better go.
I'll not leave by the back door.
You come here with your good intentions and you only make matters worse. Daniel, please,
Elizabeth,
go.
listen to me. I'm not going...
Oh. Rachel, put me things upstairs. We have a visitor, I see.
Daniel only just arrived.
Of course. And to see me, I take it.
Well, I had called to discuss business matters, yes.
It must have been urgent that you couldn't wait for me to get my foot inside the door. Could it not have waited until tomorrow?
My apologies. I will leave.
My dear fellow, no need. It just occurred to me. Our meeting at Foxy's music rooms. Tell me, do you know a singer there? Carrie Harris?
Well, I have seen her. Yes.
Spoken to her?
No.
But spoken to my wife of her, maybe.
I did not call here to be cross-questioned.
I know damn well why you came here. And I've no doubt it's not the first time since I've been away.
Daniel!
Bye, Elizabeth.
Did you dally with the fella in my absence?
No, sir. Daniel is not like you.
He loves you. That's plain enough. But he'll marry Emma Callan simply for her money.
You're jealous of him.
I am jealous of your feelings for him.
I don't feel anything for him. You must excuse me.
No.
Albert! Albert, let me go! Let me go! No, Albert. Don't you dare. Albert, let me go. Please, you're behaving like a coarse seaman.
Home from a long voyage to his wife.
Please, let me go. You're hurting me. Please.
He's a seaman, but you don't despise him.
Oh, how dare you? Put me down. Please, up.
I love you, Elizabeth. My wife. I love you.
That's steam for you, Mr. Solomon. Perfect control.
My dear Mr. Fraser, I have seen much to admire in Europe, but only the exceptional will impress me.
The
Golden Nugget is exceptional. You'll not find a better designed engine anywhere in the world.
But we have a vessel in the Imperial Shipyards, Istanbul, nearing completion, with an engine at least 20 years ahead of its time.
No, but that's impossible. I mean, the Ottoman Empire is such a
backward country?
Industrially speaking.
May I impress upon you that we have a formidable history in science and mathematics. The zero was bequeathed to the world by our ancestors.
But this engine, sir, can you enlighten me on its principles?
I can give you some figures. 18 knots at a coal consumption rate of 2 pounds per indicated horsepower per hour.
But they must have solved every flaw in the compound system. How?
I am not a technical man, Mr. Fraser. Perhaps you'd like to come and see it for yourself.
Mama certainly would.
I would consider it a great honor to receive you in Istanbul as my cherished guest.
Well, that's wonderful.
Fraser, we're within reach of regaining control of our own company. You building the steamship that you want to, and you talk of sailing to Istanbul.
Yes. And as for the Golden Nugget, the delays have been providential.
You're not thinking of abandoning the whole scheme, are you?
No, but let's not rush it. Look at those figures again, James. A redesigned Golden Nugget would have a freight earning capacity second to none.
I think so.
Oh, I'm certain of it.
When do you plan to sail?
There's a Turkish ship due to leave in 3 weeks' time.
A heathen ship, eh? I've been offered a cargo of coal for Port Said. I could take you personally.
That's very good of you, James.
It's no favor. I'm sure you'd see to it that we get our full share of Eastern hospitality.
What did you have in mind?
A cargo of Turkish tobacco at a bargain price.
Albert, if you think I will expose William to the treacherous climate of the East and the horrific diseases...
Oh, Elizabeth, this is a very important trip. It concerns our future, the future of the Golden Nugget and the future of the Onedin line. Well, don't you understand?
Perfectly. And you must go.
Well, I can't leave you alone here for months.
You've left me before.
And the circumstances were different then.
Hardly. I seem to remember last time you were obsessed by an American engine. Now it's a Turkish one.
Elizabeth, why don't you want to come?
It would have been a most difficult journey for the child.
Yes. Yes, it would.
She's a good mother, Albert. And a good wife.
Mr. Baines, look to your Tagalog clue garnets. That man's no business aloft.
Morrison! Get off that yard! Nothing till you've seen the Turkish lass. Like marble statues and soft as mother's milk. You mark my words, before they drown the lot of you in their silky pantaloons.
Like that, are they? But don't stop, Mr. Baines. I'm most interested.
Well, it's the topsails, ma'am. Now up there, the lot of you, before I hoist you by your ears.
Over, Mr. Baines.
Silky pantaloons.
Silky what?
Do you know why James Onedin has chosen this particular moment to take Albert Fraser on a voyage?
No, I do not, but I'll see what I can find out. Hey, that looks most excellent, Emma. The first of an eternity of lunches, I hope.
Really, Daniel, we can't turn Callan's into a tea room.
No, but after we're married.
Oh, I see.
You're looking forward to the happy day, Emma?
Yes.
So am I. Impatiently.
Patience is the virtue, Daniel, not impatience.
No, but another month or so, and we'll have had a decent engagement period. We don't want to leave it too long, do we?
We won't.
It'll be time to start a family. Start young. You want men old in your wake, not babes.
Is that your purpose in marriage, Daniel? To have a family? Oh, you can't deny it. I've seen you looking at children, particularly that Fraser boy.
I like children, Emma. I'd like a house full of them, as many as you want. 6, 10, a dozen.
And what about me? Well, what happens to me? I suppose I'm to wither away. Like Mamma. 10 she bore my father. And he was a proud and happy man. But it sent her to an early grave, and most of my brothers and sisters, too.
Emma!
Or does marriage mean the Callan line? And my shares in the Onedin line. They'll make a good dowry.
If that's what you think,
I don't want to think that you look upon me as a chattel to do with as you please.
Never given you cause, Emma.
No, but you're rushing me.
Very well, then. I won't rush you.
We shall marry, Daniel. And soon. But there's no hurry to set the date yet. Is there?
When are you expecting him back?
Oh, why?
Well, there are certain business matters to attend to.
Oh, I see. It's really Emma Callan who wants to know.
Miss Callan is majority shareholder in the Onedin line.
I would have thought she'd have other things in her mind, like getting married. Set the date, have you?
Not yet.
Don't take too long about it, Daniel, or you might lose her.
I won't.
Nice to be so sure. If you are sure, that is.
I am sure, Elizabeth.
She's not with child. No, she wouldn't be. She seems scared of men.
Well, she's not fickle, if that's what you mean.
It's not at all what I mean. There's something about her it takes a woman to see. She's more like a bride for St. Paul, not at all the woman for you, Daniel.
On the contrary, Elizabeth, she is the woman for me. She's affectionate, considerate, loving, loyal, kind. In fact, she's
The exact opposite of me.
You still haven't told me when Albert will be back.
He's gone to study a Turkish steam engine. He won't be back before the summer's out. Oh, Daniel,
Yes.
you've started calling me Elizabeth again. Had you noticed?
There it is. The only volcanic island in the upper sea.
The upper sea?
The Aegean. The ancient Egyptian name for it.
Look at that lava.
I'm told the locals do a very good trade out of all that.
What trade can there be in lava?
Pumice powder. Fetches good price in Port Side.
What do they use it for?
Construction of the new canal. Apparently it waterproofs the cement.
The water's a strange colour. It's like jade. I wonder why.
The devil's at work in our bowels, ma'am.
Welcome to Istanbul, Mr. Fraser.
Thank you, sir. May I introduce Captain and Mrs. James Onedin?
How do you do, sir?
This is indeed an honor. The Right Honorable Sir Charles Grey, the British ambassador.
Your servant.
Sir Charles insisted on welcoming you.
Oh, you shouldn't have inconvenienced yourself, sir.
I would traverse the world to meet an Englishman, sir. Or an English lady, madam.
This is my divan, what you would call salon. My chief eunuch, Abdullah. He will lead you to your quarters, where my concubines will attend to all your needs. They all speak English. They are hand-picked. They should give you no cause for complaint.
Well, I feel we're presuming much too much upon your hospitality, sir.
Allah has favored me with guests, Mr. Fraser. You must allow me gratification. Please rest. I will speak with you later.
This way, Mr. Fraser.
See you later then, eh, Fraser?
Yes.
My name is Leila. You must permit us to serve you.
Oh, perhaps later. Just now, I'd like to have a bath.
Certainly. Suraya will prepare it. I will undress you.
Oh, but Miss Leila,
I know what to do with Western clothes. Suleiman Pasha made us practice.
Oh, did he?
Come. You must sit down.
Thank you. Miss Leila, please.
Yes?
I'm quite capable. I mean, I can take a bath by myself.
No man should take a bath by himself.
Your bath's ready. Should have seen the way that eunuch perfumed it. James!
What? Well, they're only undressing me.
Undressing you?
Well, you know, serving.
Out! All of you! Out!
Have they offended you, sir?
Get them out, that's all. Just get them out.
They shall be punished.
No, not punished.
They have failed in their duties.
Oh, if anything, they were being a bit too dutiful.
They were undressing my husband.
But they must, unless you wish that particular privilege for yourself.
Privilege?
These girls are here to share your wifely duties. They're trained to please both the man and the wife.
Well, as far as we are concerned, all wifely duties shall be reserved for the wife.
Madame.
All right, lad. We'll send for you when we want you, eh?
I never.
Well, then.
What?
Your wifely privileges. Prepare me for me bath.
Thank you. What is so captivating about that coffee cup?
Your fortune.
Oh, really? You can read fortunes, can you?
I am a Circassian.
Oh, I see. Well, then, tell me what's in store.
It is better not to know.
As bad as that, is it?
No. There are some wonderful things.
Tell me those, then.
You are a man who gives fire. Those who wish for light will love you much. You will climb many beautiful summits.
And fall each time.
A few times. There will be people who choose darkness because they can hide in it.
And they'll destroy me?
No, not you.
Well, that's a relief. What else?
That is all.
Oh, surely not. Let's see. What's that squiggle there?
A woman?
Who? My wife?
No,
Who then?
a Circassian.
How can you be sure?
Fate.
And what is fate in store for you?
Love.
You mean duty?
Duty.
Sequestered within a harem? Ordered to love a man? Any man?
You cannot order love.
Nor can there be free will, not in your case.
I will love you until I die.
But you don't even know me.
It is not difficult to know a man. You look and you can see what there is in the eyes, summer or winter. And if there is summer, then you give body, life and soul.
Body, life, and soul are precisely what women never give, but always take.
I know of no such woman.
I know of none other.
Suleiman Pasha, sir, in his divan.
I don't know what to say, sir. How to express me gratitude for your favors and hospitality.
Please, it is nothing. I share what I have. May I speak with you about our mutual interests?
Of course.
Huzzah. I think, to use an ancient saying, I should take the bull by the horns. I am grossly guilty of what is known as a political falsehood. I have lured you to stumble with an ugly lie. The fact is, we have no revolutionary engine.
But surely...
How could we, when most of our children are subject to religious indoctrination to the exclusion of all other knowledge?
Then why did you get me here?
Your file, Mr. Fraser. These designs are copies of most, if not all, of your own work.
But how did...
I am an old sea dog with considerable scientific erudition. I have followed the development of steam zealously, and I have no hesitation in singling you out as Europe's most promising steamship designer.
I'm most flattered, sir.
There is no flattery in truth. The point I wish to make is that we want to exploit your genius.
We?
The Sultan, his government, and my enlightened fellow Turks. We know that the old days, alas, can never be recaptured. Today, the West calls us the sick man of Europe. But happily, the disease is not yet fatal. Indeed, certain reforms by the present Sultan Abdulaziz have succeeded in arresting the malady.
Yes.
But to recover our health, we need the elixir of economic growth. We need the clemency of new horizons. We need a fleet of ships in which to trade the world. And we need you to build that fleet.
A fleet?
I am empowered by the Sultan to offer you the post of master builder for a minimum of 10 years. The annual salary, Mr. Fraser, will be £7,000.
£7,000?
So, you're abandoning ship, eh?
If you mean the Onedin line.
For which I'll beg it myself. Just when I need you.
I'll give you my proxy rights. I'll transfer all my shares to you, plus the designs of the Golden Nugget.
But I need you to build her.
I'll give you my written recommendations.
Well, damn your written recommendation. I need you in Liverpool.
James, this is an offer I can't refuse.
I thought we were partners.
James!
Well, it isn't the money, but the chance to build a fleet of steamships.
And James's ambition is to own such a fleet.
You'll not persuade me, Anne. I've made up my mind.
And what of Elizabeth?
And so, gentlemen, I am happy to tell you that Mr. Fraser will commence his duties at the end of the month, following his audience with His Omnipotence the Sultan and Khalife Abdulaziz.
Şeytan işi bu. Allah'ın yolundan çıktınız, ayrıldınız.
With Haji Ahmed, the eminence grieves of the religious reactionaries. He hates the infidel.
Oh, does he?
A fanatic and a dangerous man, sir. He seeks isolation from the West.
Now, gentlemen, I'm sure you must be famished. If you will allow me, I will lead you to our modest offerings.
His modest offerings will consist of 90 courses and 45 desserts.
Well, we could change from hard tack anyway.
Women still haven't got the vote. One day we shall have it, but we have asserted our rights. For instance, if we have a dinner party, we all join in.
But how can the men talk amongst themselves?
Well, they can talk over their port. That's concession enough.
When men and women are always together, they become equal.
Ah, that's precisely what we want, equality.
When you're equal, you fight, you hate, you're jealous, you become selfish.
On the contrary. And you love, not because you're told to, but because you want to. You don't get trampled upon.
How can we be trampled upon? They come to us, to rest their heads on our breast, to forget the world, to imagine the Garden of Eden before Allah threw us out. So, we make them forget. We weave charms for them. Only we can do this.
I'm talking about love, Layla.
I am too. To love a man is the easiest thing in the world.
Is it?
You ask yourself 2 questions. 1, can I live without him? The answer will be yes, because you can live without anything. And then you ask the second question. Do I want to live without him? The answer will be no.
And how can you make him see that you love him so?
How? I will show you how. Abdullah, the drum. Talk with your body. It is more eloquent than speech. The body can never lie. It alone can say truthfully, I love you. And that is all a man wants to know.
Imagine me going on like that in front of James.
We could strip the passenger accommodation. That'd give us a few more tons.
All right, see to it, Mr. Baines. I want every nook and cranny stuffed with tobacco.
James?
Thank you, ma'am. Good day to you, Captain Onedin.
Fletcher. You come in with the tide or something?
Tides don't pick on me, sir. More like ill winds.
You remember Fletcher, Mr. Baines?
Aye, sir. Now, if it's work you're looking
No,
for...
no, Mr. Baines, it's not.
What then?
Don't load your cargo, Captain.
Eh?
At least not for a few weeks, and you can make yourself a fortune.
Indeed. How?
Surely you've heard, sir. The island of Santorin has erupted. All the ships due to collect pumice for the Suez Canal have turned back. De Lesseps tearing at his beard. He's willing to pay a king's ransom for a cargo of pumice.
So?
I know Santorin. I know where to quarry, where to get the men.
You want me to find the ship, eh?
Of course, sir.
And what did you have in mind for your share, eh, Fletcher?
Quarter of what you make.
But if the other ships can't get near the
It's not the ships, ma'am. It's the captains. Pigeon-hearted, the lot of them.
You can't take sail to fire, man.
No, indeed not, Mr. Baines. But you can take steam.
Steam?
Mr. Baines, you stay behind, finish loading, join me in port side. Fletcher? No hard feelings about our past differences, eh? 15%?
Done, sir.
It's a steamship you're looking for, sir.
There's one lying at anchor at the Golden Horn. Do you happen to know the charter rates for steamships?
That one belongs to the Suez Construction Company. You should get it almost free.
My master apologizes for not being able to converse with you himself. But as I'm sure you appreciate, although he understands English, his piety allows him to speak only the language of Allah.
I understand, of course.
Çekinme, söyle. You've been summoned here, Sir Charles, on a matter of utmost importance.
Mr. Fraser's appointment.
Memleketimizde istemeyiz, açıkla. An appointment as undesirable for Britain as it is for Turkey. Azali, bildir. Your country has chosen as her future politics a policy of imperialism and the supremacy of the seas. Is that not so?
And the Ottoman Empire, sir?
The Ottoman Empire, sir, or rather her true sons, believe that the advance of what you call civilization is the work of Shaitan, the devil. A temptation to divert us from the path of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful. Must I continue?
In the interests of our nation, sir, let us leave no room for misinterpretation.
The problem, Sir Charles, has a very simple remedy. Mr. Fraser's appointment must be annulled. Otherwise, my master would be forced to take irrevocable measures.
So that's the future, Mr. Baines.
Aye. But will the men like it? Clean, fresh sea air perks the sailor, Mrs. Onedin, not grime.
A necessary evil, I admit. But does it not have the advantage over sail on a voyage such as this?
Nothing man-made has the advantage over the forces of nature.
But surely we've learned to master the sea.
No, man. We still sail by courtesy only. The sea is a generous old lady, but we dare defend her.
I stand corrected, Mr. Baines.
It's about Mr. Fraser. I'm under the impression that you disapprove of his appointment. Am I right?
I find it inconvenient.
Of course, you have a vested interest in British maritime affairs. And you have no difficulty in foreseeing the havoc that could be wrought upon us by a strong Turkish merchant navy, particularly one converted to steam.
Oh, hadn't thought of it like that. There's no talking to Fraser, though.
Not even if you show him where his interests lie.
His interests?
His country's interests, Captain. And yours.
There's some more wine, Mr. Charles.
You are so quiet.
I'm happy. You've given me peace.
I have given you love, no more.
And no less. I feel as if I could stay here with you like this for an eternity.
But you will not touch me.
I have a wife.
Who does not care whether she touches you or not.
Did you see that in the coffee cup?
No. Her absence from your bed shows it.
Touching isn't everything.
No. But wanting to touch is where everything starts. Without the hunger, love cannot blossom.
Oh, dear, sweet Layla.
Please, touch me.
I daren't.
Captain and Mrs. Onedin.
Show them in.
Please call me when they leave.
Ready to sail?
Tomorrow. First light. Baines will follow in a day or so.
And I suppose you're here to persuade me to sail with him.
In your interests.
Sounds like a threat, James.
Don't you understand, man? British shipping must be protected. The interests of the Empire must be safeguarded.
Doesn't sound like you, James. More like Sir Charles Grey. Grind every country into poverty. Gold on our plates, dung on theirs.
You've got to look after your own.
Indeed. I'll look after James and Onedin.
You won't see sense, will you?
Come along, Anne.
Just a minute, James. Have you considered Elizabeth?
Yes, I have done.
She may not feel as you do. Would you sacrifice her?
Elizabeth is hardly the sacrificial lamb. You, Anne, you'd follow James through hell and high water. You'd die for him, and so would he for you, but Elizabeth, well, she'll always do what is best for Elizabeth.
We'll miss you, Albert.
Come along, Anne.
Farewell, James.
Farewell. Good luck. She's a bit sluggish, but she'll do.
Keep her clean. Keep her well fed and she'll always serve you. Come wind or doldrums, fine weather or storm, no tacking. Save you hundreds of miles.
What happens if your engine breaks down? To wait for a sailing ship to come by?
Things can go wrong on any ship. Sail or steam.
Aye, but 99 times out of 100, sail will get me home. What's that?
Temperament, Captain. Temperament. Engines don't like being carped at.
Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
And how are you this fine and beautiful day?
Very well, thank you. And what can I do for you?
I'd like you to send this telegram to your agent in Istanbul. I'll pay for it, of course.
Well, all right. I'll attend to it immediately.
Won't you read it?
Read it? I don't understand.
You will. It conveys my decision.
Your decision?
You know Albert wants me to join him there for 10 years.
I had heard, yes.
Thanks to Sarah, all Liverpool has heard.
And you're going?
Daniel, I do believe you're gripped by suspense. I'm flattered. I shall not be going.
But you must go, Elizabeth. A wife must always stick by her husband.
Oh, how gallant of you.
Elizabeth, I advise you most strongly.
And so you must. But I'm sure you know it will not change my mind.
What possible reason can you have to refuse to go?
The welfare of my son. Our son, Daniel.
Has it ever occurred to you that Suleiman Pasha may be deceiving you? That he may be a warlord beneath his Solon's clothing?
You have me word upon his integrity.
Your word, sir, cannot protect the British Empire. You must realize that soon, with the completion of the Suez Canal, a new and strategic route to India will open. And that calls for our absolute sovereignty in the Eastern Mediterranean.
The ships I build shall in no way threaten that sovereignty.
Merchant ships can be converted to men of war, and a strong Turkish navy would threaten our national interests, sir. I go further. Supplying the Turks with ships would constitute treason.
Is that official?
It could be made official.
Well then, Sir Charles, until it is made official, or until I hear of it directly from the Prime Minister himself, I shall continue with my work here. Good day to you, sir.
You're being very foolhardy, Mr. Fraser. Do bear in mind that in this country, any of us can be quite expendable. Good day to you, sir.
A telegram for you, sir.
Thank you.
Is it bad news?
My wife.
Will she not come?
Leila? How would you like to spend the rest of your life with me? Be with me all the time? Go with me everywhere?
I am your woman. For as long as you want me.
She's running very well, Chief.
Now what's happened?
She needs cooking.
Cooking? Well, how long does that take?
Who knows?
Well, we can't just drift, you know. There's tricky channels out there.
I'll tell her that, Captain.
Sir Charles called it treason.
We live in a day when every dissenter can be accused of treason. I, too, am guilty in the eyes of some.
You mean Haji Ahmed?
I hate religious fanaticism, Albert. It uses Allah as a pawn. It is the worst sacrilege I know.
Has Haji Ahmed many followers?
What following can a false prophet have? A few dagger men.
Dagger men?
You mustn't worry, my dear Albert. I can manage them. I fear death as I fear the evangelist. They are both pursuing my soul.
Come on, me beauty. Come on. And you rest. I can see us drifting forever. Never seeing land again. Steamships.
Lovely girl. Who's a lovely girl?
Allah.
God. How could they?
You know who did it?
Haji Ahmed and his dagger men.
You will be blamed. That's why they left him here.
Abdullah, get the police.
But they'll kill you too.
Do as I say.
But Master!
Abdullah, do as he says. He says he is right.
Always the good ones. It's always the good ones who are murdered.
You must calm down. Please, drink this.
No, thank you.
Please. You must drink it. For me.
I'll find out if it's safe to bring her into the quay, sir.
Right, Fletcher.
Pull away!
Mr. Bates, you must sail immediately. Here's your papers for custom clearance.
Why, what's happened?
Suleiman Pasha has been murdered. They intend to accuse Mr. Fraser.
What?
We've brought him here. He's only drugged. There is no time to lose. If he stays, he'll be killed. There is someone who'll take the blame.
Who?
Leila.
Söyle, konuş. Kimin işi bu?
Bilmiyorum. Ben öldürdüm. Ben yaptım. Ben.
Götürün, götürün!
I won't risk the ship. I'll stand her offshore.
Well, shouldn't we call them back first?
Ship's only half full. We can use the longboat until nightfall. Mr. Mate! Sir? Clear the ship for sea at once!
Make sure the downhaul's clear there!
Baines! That's all right, Mr. Fraser. What happened? What did we do? Where are we? Baines, turn back, do you hear? Turn back!
Now, if you'll allow me to explain...
Turn back, damn you! Turn back!
Chief, get steam up.
But James!
There's damage to the ship. Stand by, Chief.
James, those men!
Not a chance for them.
But they may still be alive.
We go back. May all be lost.
Have another tot, sir.
Thank you. Did Abdullah really say no mercy?
Aye, sir. I fear he did.
Can a woman love so? Give her life for you.
Aye.
How would you know?
Well, I didn't know before, but I do now.
God help me.
It's no consolation, sir. But could you really have left your wife and son?